Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. It's our evening Shabbat class, the 7th of December, 2024. I read this morning 1 Kings chapter 1. I'm going to read 1 Kings chapter 2 this evening. If we have some more time, I'll read some more. But we go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. We have over 1,000 or so videos that you can look at and examine. These are videos we can make guides for you and lead you to the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. Okay, and we have our cash app running around across the bottom of the screen. If anybody feel the need to support the channel and help it move along, it'll be greatly appreciated. Okay, our hours of operation are Tuesday and Wednesday from 7 to 9. We're on live, and on Fridays, our Men's Advanced Bible Study, we on from 7 to 9. Then we have 2 Shabbat classes, one in the morning, 10 to 12 a.m. Then we close out Shabbat like we're doing right now from 6 to 7. And then we come back on Sundays evenings at 5 Central Time, 5 p.m. Central Time, and we dialogue and connect some dots, read some scripture. So any of those times you can come in, if you want to join in and interact with us. That's cool. Okay. For those that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with Tanakh and the Torah. The Tanakh is the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by our Redeemer and our Savior, the Lord of Hosts. Okay. Shalom and welcome to this channel. Welcome to our evening Shabbat class. We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, a Sabbath prayer, Psalms. Then we have some current events, need to know information. Then we'll open it up for anybody that have a Q&A, any questions or comments. Then we'll go to a reading out of our 1 Kings chapter 2. Okay. So with that being said, with this moment of silence for the Lord of Hosts and all that He's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Oh Lord, I pray unto Thee, my God, we make our confessions, O Lord, great and dreadful God, keeping covenant and mercy to them that love Thee and to them that keep Thy commandments. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto Thee, but unto us a confusion of face as it is this day, to the men of Judah, to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries where Thou hast driven us because of our trespass, that we have trespassed against Thee. As it is written in the laws of Moses, all this evil has come upon us in the land of our captivity, here in the Americas, Caribbean, Great Britain, and Africa. O Lord, according to Thy righteousness, I beseech Thee, let Thine anger and Thy fury be turned away from Thy people and Thy holy mountain. O Lord, hear this prayer, because Thy face is shine upon Thy sanctuary and Thy people for Your sake. O Lord, open Thine eyes and incline Thine ears to hear and behold our condition. O Lord, hear. O Lord, forgive, hearken and do. Defer not for Thy own sake, for all Thy people and Your land need You dearly at this hour. Peace be unto You. Okay. Read the Psalms. Okay. I'll read Psalms 110. Okay. Okay. Psalm 110 says, the Lord give dominion to the king. It's a Psalm of David. Okay. The Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou in my right hand until I make thy enemies thy footstool. The Lord shall send the Lord of thy strength out of Zion. Rule thou in the midst of thine enemies. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning thou hast due over you. The Lord hath sworn and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. The Lord at thy right hand shall strike through kings in the day of his wrath. He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies, and he shall wound the heads over many countries. And he shall drink of the brook in the way. Therefore shall he lift up his head. Okay, so like I said before, when there's two things I'll deal with. First one was this morning, right? We're still talking about the Lord said unto my Lord. The Christians tell you that this Jesus, it's two Lords here. David is one of them, and the other one is the Lord that's over Israel, and they say that that's Jesus. Right? So, but like I said, when you understand who the Lord is, you know that that's Michael. And he said to David, you know, sit thou at my right hand. And he delivered, and he got rid of his enemies. And it's no different than when they came into the land of Canaan. He went before them. He the one that was leading them and killing the giants and all that. And Israel was taking up the rear, finishing up the job, but he was the one he's the one that was killing all the giants. Just like when he showed up at the gates of Jerusalem and he killed the 185,000 Syrians that came to Jerusalem destroyed. And that night he came out and killed all of them. By the morning, not one soldier alive. He had killed all of them. So we see right here, this Lord is the Most High. I mean, the Lord of hosts is over Israel. Okay, and so verse 2 says, "The Lord shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion. Rule thou in the midst of thy enemies." That rod is David. Okay, and so out of Zion, right? Then it says, "Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning. Thou hast the dew of the youth." And here you go right here. "The Lord has sworn and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek." Talking about David. So when you understand that is Abraham, you had the seven Melchizedek, the 10 Melchizedek before the flood. Adam was the first, go all the way down to Noah. When Noah passed away, Shem got it. Then Abraham met Shem. That's who Melchizedek was, that Abraham met after he rescued Lot. And then that disappeared until David came. So it's right here telling you David is out of that lineage. So he says, "The Lord has sworn and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek." Is David, right? 5. "And the Lord is at the right hand." That's what I was talking about. So when they came into Egypt, when they came into the land of Canaan, he was doing all the damage. The Israelites is at his right hand. Same right here. "The Lord at thy right hand shall strike through the kings." That's giants. You understand who it was? Kings in the day of his wrath. "He shall judge among the heathen, and he shall fill places with the dead bodies." Right? So there shouldn't be nothing new. "And he shall wound the heads of many countries." The heads of many countries is the king. Right? "And he shall drink he shall drink of the brook in the way. Therefore shall he lift up his head." So, like I said, because the people don't understand how things really was going on, how they happened back in the day, we saw that the Lord of hosts showed up in Genesis 18, him and two other angels, Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, or Raphael. And they showed up to meet David in chapter 18. And then after they met him, David said that he recognized they had came from a long ways. So he said, rest ourselves under the tree. He's talking to angels. When these angels sit down on the tree, he went and fixed them a meal. And he brought them out butter and honey and meat and something to drink. And they ate under the tree. They ate under the tree, talked to David, and they left. So the same thing right here. He says that they in battle. He done killed a bunch of people. Then verse 7, they come to a brook, and he shall drink of the brook in the way. Therefore shall he lift up his head. So he tired of killing folks. He burned out on killing folks. He stopped, he get down and get him a drink, and he stand back up and lift his head up. That's what they're saying. Ain't nothing complicated when you understand what's happening. Okay? Any comments or questions? Everybody good? Okay, so we go to our current events if nobody have nothing or comments on that. Okay, here we go.
Is devouring everything in its path. And in 2024, even some of the biggest and most iconic retailers are being gutted by an unforgiving market. Established giants that once seemed untouchable are now crumbling into irrelevance, brought to their knees by decades of mismanagement, ruthless competition, and the relentless rise of e-commerce. The economic landscape has become a battlefield, with inflation, mounting debt, and collapsing consumer spending acting as executioners for brands that failed to adapt. Across the country, empty parking lots, shuttered storefronts, and mass layoffs are painting a bleak picture of an industry in its death throes. These aren't just struggling mom and pop stores. These are retail titans with decades, even centuries of history behind them, now unable to withstand the financial carnage. By the end of 2024, the collapse will only accelerate as more major retailers fall victim to rising operational costs and disappearing customer loyalty. With no end in sight to the economic pressures tearing through the sector, these once mighty brands are dropping like flies. From department stores to specialty chains, the retail graveyard is growing by the day. And as we count down the 15 biggest retailers collapsing right in front of our eyes, you might want to prepare to say goodbye to even more of your favorite brands forever. What's happening isn't just a crisis, it's a complete collapse of an industry. 1. Bed Bath & Beyond. The retail bloodbath has engulfed yet another iconic name, and this time it's Bed Bath & Beyond, a once beloved giant in home goods and dorm essentials. Despite its enormous footprint and decades-long loyalty among middle-class shoppers, the company is now rapidly spiraling into oblivion. With mounting losses exceeding $5 billion over the last few years, leadership changes every other quarter, and endless discount strategies that have devalued its brand, Bed Bath & Beyond's survival looks all but guaranteed. Analysts have highlighted its failure to pivot in time to compete with e-commerce juggernauts like Amazon and Walmart. The company's overstretched supply chains, bloated inventory, and ineffective private label strategy have led to the closure of over 200 stores in 2024 alone. Reports suggest the remaining stores are struggling to even stock basic essentials. Employees are being let go en masse, severance packages are shrinking, and landlords are terminating leases, leading industry insiders to warn that the company is on the brink of liquidation. For loyal customers, the era of those iconic blue coupons may soon come to an end. 2. Party City. The party is definitively over for Party City, as the chain that once dominated the celebrations market is being crushed under the weight of its $1.9 billion debt burden. 14. Macy's. Do you need? Macy's is collapsing under its own weight, proving that even retail icons aren't immune to the harsh realities of 2024. The department store giant has announced plans to shutter another 200 locations by the end of the year, following years of declining sales and failed turnaround strategies. Once a cornerstone of American retail, Macy's has become a relic of the past, unable to compete with e-commerce giants like Amazon or adapt to changing consumer preferences. Foot traffic has dried up, and the few remaining shoppers complain about poorly stocked shelves, lackluster customer service, and stores that feel like mausoleums of a bygone era. Financially, Macy's is in free fall. Revenue has plunged by 12% year over year, and profits have been wiped out entirely as the company struggles with rising operational costs and declining consumer demand. Its debt stands at a staggering $3.5 billion, with interest payments eating into what little cash flow it has left. Attempts to reinvent itself through smaller format stores and online sales have been underwhelming, with digital revenues falling far short of expectations. Even the famed Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade has become a shadow of its former self, as the company slashes costs wherever possible. Experts predict Macy's won't survive another decade, if that, calling it a textbook example of a retailer that failed to innovate in time. For a brand...
Okay, any comments on that? Anybody see any signs of that? When they out and about?
Shalom, yes sir. I seen a lot of department stores closing over the last few years. A few different Targets, Sears, JCPenney, stuff like that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, exactly. You know, like I was saying before, they actually believe, they so delusional, they think that Trump gonna come in and make our America great again. All these stores gonna come back. Like I was talking about this morning with the earth cracking all over America, the land drying up and cracking. This place is being relegated to third world country. It's nowhere in hell. This is where we're gonna end up at. Okay. Anybody else got anything on that?
Yes, sir. I just happened to be in Macy's yesterday, and it was one tie that cost $55. I said,
that's the problem,
sir.
That's the problem, right? That's the problem right there. They can't afford to buy what's in Macy's. That's why it's going down.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you know, I got nervous and I left immediately.
Okay. There's some. Yeah. Okay. I got another one right here. Okay. Let me see what this. Okay. I don't know if anybody heard about this, but yeah, let me hit it.
Because of drones flying over New York City and some of the suburbs, we now have the Pentagon that called for an emergency classified meeting just yesterday. I want to break down what's happening because a lot of people are speculating this could be Russia, it could be Iran, it could be one of our adversaries coming after us. So I want to break this down, explain what is happening and why this is still extremely concerning for the American people. Again, when drones that we don't know who is flying them are flying over in New York City or in New Jersey or over President Trump's golf course, well, that's an issue. So I want to break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So first, you need to understand what has actually happened. Keep in mind, all this stuff that's going on right now, this is after we knew that China sent a spy balloon, okay, over the United States. Okay, we have reports of that. We actually had the balloon. This is concerning, but look at this. It says the mysterious drones reported over Staten Island in New York City. And in another article, it says mysterious drones seen over New Jersey Trump golf course after Governor Murphy and the FBI respond to other sightings. This has been going on for some time. It's not new. This isn't just happening over the past several days. This has happened over the past several weeks. This is an issue. But the reason why I'm showing you this is because all this stuff is happening again. Okay, we're seeing it. It's going on and on and on. The American people are questioning it. They're reporting the sightings to police. Police are actually pushing it up the chain of command to the Pentagon. And the Pentagon, okay, even Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said, oh, there's nothing to worry about. Well, if there's nothing to worry about, why would the Pentagon hold a classified briefing on UAPs with Congress? If there's nothing to worry about, why would they do this? They wouldn't. That's why some are saying that this is concerning. I want to show you this. It says UFO drones are surveilling America's most sensitive military sites, and the Pentagon says it can't stop them. This was an article from October 13th, almost 2 months ago. The reason why I'm showing you an article from about 2 months ago is because we've been seeing this for some time. Okay, it's happening over in the Middle East. It's happening here in the US. Here's the concern. We are just getting started. Okay, we're just getting started. Now, experts believe, and this is coming from the FBI and Homeland Security, that there's still a potential threat to the United States, and it would come between today and Inauguration Day, which is January 20th, 2025. So there's still a threat out there. The threat hasn't been neutralized, right? Now, here's where things get really interesting. Right now, there's a manhunt going on, okay, underway, trying to figure out where the person that shot and killed the CEO of United Healthcare, okay, where did that guy go? He just vanished, right? We got all this security footage. We have all these cameras. We know kind of what he looks like, where he went. There's a backpack that they now found, but yet, where'd he go? And nobody knows where he's at. The person that shot and killed the CEO is gone. He vanished. And I bring that to your attention because everyone says, no, if something were to happen, we would be able to get the suspect, right? We'd be able to get him. No issues. This is an issue. The threats are still out there. Now, the reason why I really want, and I want to show you something else as well, is because of the sensitive nature of where these drones are at. Look at this right here. Let me know your thoughts on this.
On Tuesday night at around 8 p.m., Phil Doyle and his wife Maureen went out on their back patio when they heard buzzing overhead. He says they saw dozens of flying objects believed to be drones.
Are you ready to see your
Been reported in 8 northern and central New Jersey counties starting the week before Thanksgiving. This video was taken in their backyard. Now that is less than 5 miles from the Picatinny Arsenal, a U.S. Army base. The Doyles, who live in Oak Ridge, say they saw.
Do anybody remember the video, the class we had when the guy was showing the technology of the drones, how they have swarm technology? Anybody remember that?
Shalom, yes, sir. I remember we were going over that.
Right, they got drones where they can bring out hundreds of thousands of drones and just let them go out of plane and then just swarm. And then they got the ability they got ammo, the ability to shoot you. The drone can shoot you in the head or wherever they want to shoot you. So yeah.
Dozens of these objects believed to be drones coming from the direction of Picatinny and heading northwest.
Now, I just want to point something out really quick. Now, the red and green lights, some people are saying that, these could be one of the DJI drones. Okay, right? The DJI Phantoms or whatever. Okay, I get that. But here's the other thing. Drones, okay, they're not huge. Right? They're not massive, right? The little the kind of personal ones you can get from Costco or from Amazon, they're not huge. Experts are saying that these are pretty big. Some are saying that these are the size of a small car.
Mm.
Okay, if they're loud enough that even miles away you can still hear the buzzing, they have to be fairly big. Okay, let's keep watching this.
One goes over and another comes by, so it's not like 2 or 3 a night. It's probably 30 or 50 a night.
30 to 50 drones flying overhead.
Yeah. And they have lights on them, so you can follow them in the sky.
What do you think of the government response so far?
Yeah, it's typical of the government. You know, they may know, they may not know. So, but a lot of them seem to come from the Picatinny Arsenal area.
Okay, so he says the government may know, they may not know, right? It's typical of the U.S. government. If there's a concern, the U.S. government's not going to come out and say, "Oh, yeah, be careful. These could get you," right? They're not going to do that. They're not going to pretty much get everyone all scared and riled up, and then who knows, you're shooting into the sky, right? They're not going to do that out of safety concerns for everyone else, not really for you, but for everyone else. Don't want to get people riled up. Don't want people turning on the local police or the government or anything like that. Just say, no, don't worry. But again, I bring this to your attention because when the Pentagon holds a classified briefing, there's got to be a reason for that. I want to read a little bit of this, okay? It says, officials are concerned because the objects are flying over a military installation, the Picatinny Arsenal, and over Trump's Bedminster Golf Club. It says, in response, the FAA added new restricted airspace. The FBI is also now investigating. Some simply call the objects drones, but officials admit they can't say for sure what the flying objects are. In a statement, the New Jersey police chief says that their presence appears nefarious in nature. Okay. So again, I just want to share this with you because this is, in my opinion, it's not over. This isn't over. Now, the FAA did add restricted airspace. This might change things. If it does change things, great.
Anybody have any comments on that? What you think?
Fast forward on this point.
Shalom. Oh,
Okay.
shalom. Yes, they're supposed to register their drones if they're over 0.55 pounds. And they can't fly no more than 400 feet up in that area. So by these drones that they have, if they're over a certain weight, if they're going certain feet, they're supposed to be reported. When you get a drone, you have to register it. They say if it's under a certain pounds, you don't have to. But they're saying the ones that's in New York, then they should be able to track those things down because they have them registered. So they say they don't know who's doing it, but if those drones are at a certain weight, they should know who it is. But they're not, explaining that to the mass of people they're talking to. They're just throwing it out there. But there are restrictions to owning a drone and where and how you can fly those things and where you can fly them at.
Exactly right. Anybody else have any comments on that? Okay. Yeah, so that's something to keep an eye on. Like I said, when you understand, I think that's going to be part of what I keep talking about. Israel has something in the background that they're going to use to make it look like that they've been some kind of divine deliverance that came to deliver them. It's got to do with AI, and I think it's got to do with the drone technology. But we'll wait and we'll see. Okay. I have some need to know information right here. I thought this is pretty interesting. Check it out. Get some feedback. Okay.
We are looking at that this enemy is pushing is the point. The ultimate agenda that we are looking at that this enemy is pushing is depopulation. We have to get this through our mind. That way we can remove the emotion from it. Take the emotion out of it, look at it for what the purpose is. Just be logical about this.
So ain't that what the Pharaoh did? Nothing new under the sun. Pharaoh wanted to reduce our population or numbers, right? Same thing today.
What type of government would encourage men being with men, women being with women, and remove the ability to procreate? What kind of government would inspire such a thought? Now, before anyone says, well, people who are same sex can still procreate. No, you can't. I'm talking about you cannot have sex and have a child. Knock it off. I'm not talking about artificial insemination. I'm not talking about any of that. No. I'm talking about literally a woman cannot get another woman pregnant. A man cannot get a man pregnant. A man does not have a womb. Let's knock it off. Let's be serious about this. What kind of government would encourage such a thing? A government that wants to get rid of you, but wants to get rid of you in a way where you will accept it and where you will volunteer to do it yourself. They don't want these people on the planet no more. These people, I'm talking about 3 to 4 billion human beings on the planet. They don't want. According to the National Security Study Memorandum 200 under Dr. Henry Kissinger, the 32nd Secretary of State under President Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford, he stated, quote, depopulation should be the highest priority of U.S. foreign policy towards the third world, end quote. But they had 13 foreign countries that they listed and said, these are the countries that we're going to push for our same-sex policy adoption, same-sex ideology, same-sex everything. And they push it on all of those countries, and then they started pushing it here domestically as well. They want to get rid of over 3 to 4 billion human beings on the planet. Y'all gotta, that's really what the foundation of this thing is. But too many people are caught up in the emotion of it. Well, I want to do this.
Population, because from when I hear about stuff like that, a lot of people say like the world's population can fit in Texas alone.
That is a fact.
So how is there overpopulation in that sense?
It's a lie. It's a lie. Then they'll say resources, right? Because you have roughly 29 million useful square miles on the planet, right? 29 million square miles of useful land. Okay. If the majority of people can fit in Texas, the majority of people on the planet, literally, we're talking about the roughly 8 billion human beings in Texas. And if you ever driven through Texas, you know that's not too crazy to believe, all right? Because you've been through, there's a bunch of open land, right? Then the question becomes, wait a minute, so are we really overpopulated? Because Hillary Clinton was saying overpopulation. Henry Kissinger, overpopulation. President Jimmy Carter with Global 2000, overpopulation. It was a lie. A damn lie, and they knew it was a lie, but they wanted to push that and then get the people to be programmed to believing it so that the people can push it on each other, attack each other. Same thing they did with shots, boom, boom, boom. They start going in on each other. Oh, bro, and then that's when you get everything from abortion to vasectomies to like everything to prevent you from procreating. You sound crazy. You don't want your existence to live on, and you think that's a benefit to that? Who put that thought in your head and why? They want to get rid of the majority of people. Why at this point? Because the majority of people are no longer being controlled. This social media platform was a gift and a curse for both the people and the government. The government created it and established it so that they could spy on the people for the vast majority. You're talking about way back before MySpace with something called 6 Degrees. You're talking about way back then where they were using social media, you know, to let you get around people and start to find who was who and all that, and photo bucket. So we had to put our photos on and upload MySpace. See, Tom ain't never did this, dude.
Right.
Tom. Okay, right. So MySpace, and I mean, MySpace
tracking your data like that. Or were they?
They weren't nowhere near until after 9/11, 2001, and that's actually in chapter 2 of my book where I break down all of that, the history of the social media platforms, which policies in the Patriot Act, you name it, all the way down right to 9/11, how they started to infiltrate, how they started to, you know, sneak peek search and all that kind of stuff, bro. But again, depopulation is the goal. That's what we have to look at. So when you're looking at the trans thing, you're looking at the drag stuff, all that, you're dealing with a lot of people, which again, by the way, man, it's a lot that goes into this topic. You have a group called Gays Against Groomers. All right. This is a group that has over 20 locations in the United States. These are all people who are either gay, lesbian, bisexual, who are fighting against what this government is pushing. Using the LGBT. Right. They ain't with none of it. They're like, we ain't with none of this stuff that y'all pushing. We ain't with the restroom stuff. What the hell are you doing being half naked around children? What's wrong with you? You're a pedophile. You got these gay folks calling out just pedophiles because the pedophiles are using the gay movement like they did way back then.
They could be lying. We don't know. They just walking in the dressing room,
come on, bro,
dropping their drawers in front of young ladies.
Bro, you okay?
Do you know which jails they want to go into now? Bigger than truth, right?
Bro, you have men. Over 250 men who call themselves women who are currently in jail have petitioned to be transferred to women's prisons. You have a number of them that so far they have been successful at it.
Hell yeah.
Now they're trying to figure out how these female inmates are getting pregnant. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. No, like let's just, it's sick, it's nasty, it's disgusting, right. Knock it off. Like it's just stop, right? And again, we got to go back to the enemy. Because if you get caught up looking at the people, then you're going to be too busy arguing and fighting the people. And rightfully so to a degree. Like some people, you got to be like, Pops, sit down. All right, what you doing? Chill out. You can't be around my baby. Nope, not my child. Go over there.
Right.
Okay, so like some people have to get that hard love, boom. But the enemy is always the one puppeteering and controlling. Satan is doing his job.
Right.
So if we don't have the smoke for the system, I never thought I would see the day where the White House would have the LGBT flag hanging with the trans flag and all the other stuff, the child predator flag, all that from the actual Capitol right there in front of the White House, just 2 or 3 weeks ago. I mean, like,
yeah, I didn't know that either.
What? Oh, man, y'all make sure you put that up on the screen, brother. I'm telling you now, when that happened, do you know the world is watching us? You know the world is watching America, right?
Yeah, they talking shit too.
Oh man, they looking because America has been the bully of the world for years. Been the bully, using her military might to oppress and suppress. You're talking about over 700 military bases that are currently occupying different nations all over the world. And they're looking like, yo, men, you're men or women, huh? I'm telling you, hey, look, I'm telling you right now, y'all got to look at it from a military type of perspective. Yeah. You look at these foreign nations who've been waiting for some get back. You invaded my nation. You killed my women, my children. You bombed us for no reason. Literally, 20 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So all your men now, they women, huh? No, just right? Okay, all right, so they women. Oh, so you're pushing not to make your men stronger, but to now say, hey, you can be a woman if you want, boom, boom. Okay, so I'm pushing the gay stuff, oh, okay. The number one priority is LGBT rights. Okay, cool. Like I'm telling you, they look at and they are fortifying. They exercise. They're working out hard. They're training because they're waiting for that point where they are able to then become the big dog themselves. You're talking about China. Do you know about BRICS?
Yeah.
Please, okay, they're not. These nations are not playing.
Yeah.
They're not playing. And they said, oh, wow, America, your priority is to have men chop off their penises and testicles. Wow. Good. Keep going. Keep going. I'm so serious. I'm looking like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm cool with my masculinity. I'm gonna keep working out and exercising because now it's a war type of environment and atmosphere that's brewing. So while everybody's pushing, sex this and trans this and blah, 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 emotion, I feel like this and all that insanity, other nations is looking like y'all crazy. So we about to go ahead and get ready, right? To be the big dog now. And I know, again, we went around a lot in this topic, but there is a lot in it. Last point I'll mention real quick before you delve into another side of this. Uganda passed a law where they said if you identify as LGBTQ and all that, you going to jail. Now, a lot of folks, that I've spoken to, part of that community was like, man, Reese, that's wrong. See what I'm saying? It's like, that's Africa.
Right. And then Kamala tried to come over there and try to regulate and try to
oh my God, embarrassment.
Yeah.
She went over there with her Timberland boots on. Embarrassment.
Yeah.
You are okay. Anyway, Kamala's a whole other. Her name was on the paperwork when I went to jail.
Oh yeah.
Oh, please.
I mean,
anyway, but that's not why I'm saying that. But you're not going to go into the historical target of your colonizing ancestors to try to recolonize in a modern time, but dress it up as democracy. Why aren't you accepting the same sex? And they're like, what the hell is wrong with you? They're looking at you like, are you sick? You do know your grandparents did that already. They came and forced homosexuality on us. They came and forced us to accept Jesus Christ when the J didn't even exist till the 1600s in the language, but another topic. You forced all that on us. You doing it again? Do you not read history? Like, they pissed. They're like, who? I mean, not only is it disrespectful, but you don't realize you're trying to get them to accept an ideology that ends with no procreation.
Okay, any comments? What you think?
Shalom. Yes, they're putting that out and they're talking about that, but they also, the government is squeezing in or putting in the viruses that's out there. And yes, that's like throwing the rock and hiding the hand situation. Because I believe in January, we're going to have a vast of vaccines to be put out for the flu. They said that on TED Talk that there was too many people here, and that was in 2012. And they mentioned the COVID. The COVID came out. It did diminish some of the people in the population, but not enough that they felt. So they started with the monkeypox. They started with the other kind of flu. So while people are concentrating on that, they also not realizing that they're going to do a virus again that's going to depopulate the people here in the United States quicker than just having people with their gender situation.
Right, exactly. So they've been preaching this forever and a day about depopulation. Go all the way back to Margaret Sanger and all them until so it's like beating a dead horse. They pretty much made that the household thing to the point where people don't even they don't alarm people no more. They steady doing it and it's increasing, but people don't, it's like a household word now. Just like the way that the LGBTQ community then escalated, to the point now where it's it don't have the same effect that it did 10, 15 years ago. Okay, they made it normal. Okay, anybody else got any comments on that?
Yes, sir. Shalom, everyone. You have to think about everything that they're putting in our foods too, right? All
Right.
the vaccines that they already have made up, but they make us feel as though it's something new that is just coming out, but it's not. It's just sitting on the shelves waiting to be used, right? So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but now you see on a lot of the billboards, I know that I have, when you ride around, it may say something like uh love does not have to solely be between a man and a woman, right? It can be same sex, and it'll have two men up there with children, right?
Right.
So
Exactly.
they are really, yeah, they're promoting it as though it is normal, right? So
Right.
we have to go back to the Lord of hosts. This is why he did not want us intermingling with them. That's why
Exactly.
things like that was cut off at the root. They just didn't let it stay amongst the community because it just would, get out of hand. So
Exactly.
we have to look at, yes, sir, we have to look at all of that. They give us surgeries that we don't need. That's why they say, take someone to the hospital with you. You're back there and you're under anesthesia and you're knocked out and you wake up and you got body parts missing. So yeah, we really do. We have to pay attention to everything, the food, the vaccine, what we do when we go to the doctor, what they telling us that's wrong with us. We just take it and trust them when we really shouldn't.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, I want to bounce off of that because when you go to Ezekiel 37, we know who the people that he's going to raise up in Ezekiel 37 is our forefathers. He's going to raise them up out of their graves. That's the
Yes,
army.
sir.
But this is the point I want to make based on what you just said. We didn't got away from when the Lord of hosts had Moses to bring the Israelites, our forefathers, to the Mount Zion, and he gave them the law, statutes, and the judgment. Like I was saying in Ezekiel, in Genesis chapter 15, you're trying to write a divide of 400 years, and they can't believe that it's not here in America because they're going by the affliction. But when the Creator is talking to Abraham, he said servitude and affliction. So between the servitude and the affliction, you get the 400 years. Because when they first went there, those 12 sons that went into Egypt, their 70 souls. They was in Goshen and they were serving. They were servants to the Egyptians. Then they saw that they were multiplied. Then the affliction came. So you add the 400 years up to servitude and the affliction. So the same thing right here, people talk about us going back and returning to the land, the second exit and all that. Well, when we go back, this is what we have to do right here, 37. I want to read it. Okay, it says, verse 23, Ezekiel 37. Neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their things or their transgressions, but I will save them out of all the places wherein they have sinned, and I will cleanse them. And they shall be my people, and I will be their God. Check it out. So it says, and David, my servant, shall be king over them, and they shall all, look at this, they shall all have one shepherd, and they shall also walk in my judgments. See that? Nobody ain't dealing with that. They shall walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them. So what's the judgments? What you just said. You got to, okay, you find out it's a gay man in your village or wherever. He got to be dealt with. Got to be rooted out. Fornication. Even in Leviticus, it got to a kid. Nobody can't tell him shit. Everybody tried, the parents and try to deal with him. They done brought him to the judge. Judge can't deal with him. And the king can talk to him. If they can't deal with him, take him outside of the village. Stone him to death. That's what he's talking about with judges. When he say by judgments. Let me read it again. David, my servant shall be king. This is what David did all this. That's why he's bringing David back. So he says, and David, my servant, shall be king over them, and they shall all have one shepherd. See that? And they shall also walk in my judgment. Like I said, if this ringing a bell, go back and find out what the judgment is. Go look at Leviticus. And then not only that, that's who the Lord of hosts is. He's a judge. So what a judge do? Okay, for one thing, the 200 angels came down, crossed the line, and came down and started sleeping with women. Well, he had to judge them. Okay, and go to the Judges. It's a book in the Tanakh called Judges. What was their job? This very thing right here. They had to judge unrighteousness, and there were severe penalties to it. So when we go back, that's going to be the number one thing that we have to do. Yeah. So, and to add on to that, when you're always hearing about, let's look at it right quick. Yeah, because this is very important. I mean, you got a lot of people that goes to. I was listening to somebody earlier today. They went to Isaiah, right? They went to Isaiah chapter 11. You know what I'm saying? And they thinking that they go here when they say it's JC, but it's not JC. It's David. So let's look at it right quick. Okay, chapter 11. Right? So I read the other day, Friday, I think it was, that the Most High, when David died, he came and redeemed those fallen angels. The spirits of those giants tried to hold David up on the earth and wouldn't allow him to sin. Michael came down and delivered him, brought him up out of there. And then he said, he imputed righteousness on David. Once he got him up, then because of David learned to walk in righteousness and to do the Most High, keep the Most High's laws and statutes and judgment, he imputed righteousness on him, right? So let's look at it. And so when it say quicken, that's somebody that dead, and he quickened them, resurrect them. So anyway, let's look at it. Let me see where I was at. Yeah, Isaiah. My bad, I'm tripping. Okay, Isaiah chapter 11. Here we go. It says, and there shall come forth a rod. Same thing I just read in Ezekiel 37. There shall come forth a rod. See that? That rod. That rod is judgment. Whoever that Moses, he was a rod. That's because he brought the Most High's judgments. He ain't had no problem with bringing the Most High judgment. So it says, there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, that's David, and a branch shall grow out of his roots, and the Spirit of the Lord shall be upon him, and the Spirit of wisdom, understanding, and the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord. And here you go. And he shall make him of a quick understanding. That's why quicken in the fear of the Lord. And he shall not judge. See that? Nobody wants to talk about this. He shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither shall he reprove after the hearing of his ears, but with righteousness shall he judge the poor. So what is righteousness? Judgment. What he just said when he resurrected David in the last days. There's gonna be one shepherd, and he's gonna keep the Most High's laws, statutes, and judgments. That's what righteousness is. It ain't what these clowns say it is. Okay? Any comments? Okay, so with that being said, I'll open it up for some. Anybody have any questions or comments they want to talk about? Anything they want to bring up or discuss from this morning, or men's line, the women's line during the week?
No, sir, I don't have any.
Okay. No questions, no comments. Okay. Let me see what I made. Yeah, let me play this right here. I don't know if anybody heard about this right here. Let me see. Okay, yeah. Let this from
Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today is something exciting that I want to share with you guys, and I think and I hope we support this because we have this beautiful sister that after the elections of what happened in the US, I mean, everyone is like now thinking about, things. Black people are realizing like, you know what, nobody really cares about what we want, what we want to see change, who we as a people. So this beautiful lady came on the internet and brought up like something that is really interesting, and really a lot of Black people are so into it right now, which I think is very important as a group of people that are always looking for a way for us to, grow ourselves as a people. And yeah, this is what she had to say. So guys, give it an ear and let me know what you think about it.
What if we had a Black Project 2025? Hear me out. I know it sounds crazy, but this is my vision. What if all of us were to get into a group? Okay, I'm talking doctors, lawyers, engineers. There's so many of us that are so talented, and we were to work together with our own Black agenda for 2025. I'm talking opening up Black-owned grocery stores in certain cities, Black-owned banks, so that way we can actually get our home loans and do what we need to do, our own doctor's offices, our own law practices, and we really were to just congregate and push towards our goals and our outcomes, right? And so this is how I envision it going. We can all get into this group. We can all donate what we have to donate on a monthly basis. And then basically we can have a CEO, we can have a CMO, and we can have a CFO that's in charge of leading the groups with the initiatives, right? We could have bi-weekly, monthly calls in regards to where we stand with our goals. So, okay, guys, we want a Black-owned grocery store in Los Angeles built and developed, August 2025. This is where we stand. This is how much we have funded. this is what's needed, this is where we are in the process, and we just go from there. And so we can just kind of congregate. And then on top of that, in this group, we could also just have a massive directory of Black-owned businesses. So that means that everyone that joins this group swears off of purchasing from these large corporations. I'm talking Black-owned coffee brands, clothing, everything you guys can think of, toiletries, like down to everything, like body washes, everything we use and consume on a daily basis. It is no longer purchased from these large corporations. It is purchased from one another. And I think that we can create so much wealth amongst ourselves just by strictly swearing off of supporting large corporations and only supporting one another, and also congregating to create our own agenda. Now, I know that there have been people who have tried to do this before in the past, and I know that we struggle as a community to trust one another. I don't really care about all that right now. I just personally feel like if we are able to put our pride aside and get it done, I feel like it could be one of the most impactful things done in Black history. Like maybe there is a silver lining in Kamala not being able to get into office, because as a community, we just become that much more tight-knit. Do you get where I'm coming from? I don't know. I know it sounds crazy, but I just feel like this is something that we should do. And I feel like I feel very strongly about the ability for us to transform our community and the perception of, African American individuals, if we were to really finally come together.
Black Project 2025. Yeah, you heard that right. And no, it's not that section in Trump's Project 2025 that Ben Carson wrote. Black Project 2025 is the brainchild of a 22-year-old entrepreneur by the name of Anaya Holloway. Here are 3 things you should know about Black Project 2025 and where Anaya actually sees this going. Number 1, Anaya took to TikTok to share this idea of Black Project 2025 right after the presidential election results came in, with this idea that Black people will come together to create an agenda that supports the Black community specifically. Provision includes opening up more Black-owned grocery stores, banks, doctor's offices, law firms, and a number of other businesses, which I hope doesn't include another brunch spot in Atlanta with hookah and a grass wall. You know I love Atlanta. But all of these initiatives, all of these businesses will be funded by the Black dollar. She says the staff that would help these initiatives move forward would include a CEO, a CMO, and a COO, with additional positions that are in the tech industry that would help run the platform. The leaders of this group would then host bi-weekly meetings with contributors and with community members about the progress that they're making with these initiatives. But the big question is, how do people feel about this? This leads me to number 2. They don't like it. I'm kidding. The day after she made the announcement, which was just 3 or 4 days ago, over 1,500 people signed up. There's now over 25,000 people signed up to join the group.
EP 2025 has 10,000 members. I went to sleep, there were 5,000. I woke up, there were 10,000. And guys, yes, Heartbeat servers are completely fighting for their lives. I have a call with them coming up this week. But the good news is Isaac, the creator of Fanbase, reached out to me, and he and I are going to get on a call. I'm hoping maybe we can find some kind of temporary solution that can handle a massive influx of requests the way that we are trying to join this group, because guys, it is utterly insane. So bear with me there. Another update, keep an eye out on my bio today, because the roles that are going to be needed in the organization, those are going to be listed, and you guys are going to be able to go and apply. So my recruiter.
Okay. So what do you think? Any comments on that? Black Project 2025.
Shalom. As she was talking, and I thought back, like she said, it happened before, Black Wall Street. But before Black Wall Street, there were people, dealing with each other, without having a business, like I guess like the candy store lady on the doing business within each other. Now, by her putting this out such as she is, there, like they said, all eyes and ears are open. Was going to try to break down what she's doing, and like he said, that it's not going as well as they thought it would be, because there's going to be more pushback. I don't know. I wasn't there when the Black Wall Street was coming up, but they probably had it on a hush hush until they got to a point where their foundations were strong enough to withhold and stand up and continue to go until what happened. That should be a way they go about this. It's a good idea, but yet they have their materials and things are coming from other places that are not pro all black. These materials seed is not coming from black-owned companies, producers. So keeping it on the down low, getting things together until they can actually, the foundation has to be a little stronger, and all ears are open on this. So there's going to be a pushback because that's what they did with the Black Wall Street. They didn't want it to happen, and now they're fully telling them this is what we want to do again, and that's going to take out food and money out of these other people that have their own jobs and have their own, their businesses up and running, like Walmart and stuff like that. That's going to take away. Um, they already crushing the mom and pop stores, and they're not even um, black. So they're going to, they're looking at it, which you're on public, you're on social media, so everyone's looking at it. If it would go the other way, I guess, start up on the low key, I believe it would happen. It would work.
Shalom,
Okay.
everyone. I kind of agree a little bit with what Cheryl was saying. It's say it with ease, right? But I think it'll be a little harder to accomplish around our oppressors, right? So I don't know if you guys heard of this, but in Fayetteville, Georgia, we know Atlanta has the most black businesses, right? So we know that they built a tiny home community. They have farming there. And here recently in November in Fayetteville, Georgia, which is outside of Atlanta, and I don't know if anybody heard of this, there was a black couple that opened up a shopping plaza, like a strip mall, right? And so that's huge because that's, going to keep the dollars there more versus going out, somewhere else. We have more uh, hair supply stores that blacks are opening up that really has more to do with uh, our type of hair, the natural hair. You know what I'm saying? So it's out there and it's happening, and that's a blessing. But I agree with Cheryl. You're on social media talking about this, and we have to go to them to get the money. We have to go to them to get the supplies. So we have to be careful on how we put things out.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, yeah. Everybody good on that? So, like I was saying, if you go back and look at what's happening, first of all, I keep referring to Isaiah chapter 60, which is prophecy on Israel, and understanding that we are the Israelites, right? The Negro. So he says that when you see rise and shine, for thy light is come, and the Lord is seen over thee. So he says, when you see that, then the Israelites, the Negroes, gonna start flowing together. We saw this morning how that Niger, well, last night on the men's line, Niger and Nigeria and the Congo coming together. So that's prophecy. And then not only that, we know that the crab in the bucket, everybody knows that about the crab in the bucket when it comes to the Negro. When one crab, you got a bunch of crabs in the bucket, one start getting out, you reach up and snatch him back in. That's been our mentality. That's where the black on black murder come in at, black on black crime, all that. But now we see that that's not happening, that's being transformed. So that's a sign the Most High showed us in Isaiah 60. When you see us start flowing together, that's a sign. So when you look at what's being said right here, and compare it to what's, because Israel, predominantly a lot of Israelites are over here in America, specifically Judah, and then you got the 10 tribes over in Africa. We see that now they starting to flow together in Africa, and we see now they flowing together over here. So that's a sign, because that's unheard of. Okay, that's
Sir,
unheard
I
of.
have a
What she's
question.
saying, yeah,
Right. So what she's saying, Brother Leonard, and what you've been saying and saying that this is not our homeland, right? This place is going to be destroyed. So my question is that flowing together going to be here in America with us knowing that we're going to be going home soon? So is it, you saying, okay, we're going to build up here in America, with the communities, our own stores, so forth, our own banks, the doctor offices, and all of that. So my question is, are we going to flow together here in America?
right. So it's the spirit. It's the spirit that's on us. Then we're gonna take that spirit back there. But it's starting to happen over here. But we're gonna take that spirit back over there. So you say, what are you talking about? Well, the Edomite. I told you how in 70 AD they was the ones in the land of Israel. And the Most High brought Titus and Vespasian there, ran them out, and sent them to Spain. They sticking together, ain't they?
Yes,
Are
sir.
are the Edomites together?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it was in Spain. They was together. They brought that same spirit from Spain to America.
Right. So what my understanding of the video that was playing, and I'm trying to get an understanding of this, and I understand what you're saying when you say about the spirit, but I'm saying that building of what she was talking about, the doctor offices, basically our own communities, right, to circulate our own
Right,
dollars. My
right,
question was, and what I'm trying to understand, we're all coming together in spirit right now because the Lord of hosts is on the move, right? But I was
right.
saying that building, do you think is going to happen here in America, or are we just going to, that growth in spirit is going to be there so that when we leave here, all the things that is being spoken of is going to come together. What I was saying is I don't see that happening here in America, what she was speaking of when she was talking about the building, because we have places like Augusta, Tennessee, like I said, Atlanta. Those places are thriving in Black businesses, right? But it's
Right.
the spirit that we have where we're coming together more. But I don't think that building of the things that she was speaking of is going to happen here.
Right. So look at how the Most High work, because we over here in Prophets of Awakening, and there's other people. We would be crazy to think that we the only ones. Those people are not where we at. We looking at what they're saying, knowing that we the Israelites, knowing that we're gonna have to leave here.
Yes,
So they're
sir.
not looking at it. They're not where we at. We know that they coming. We see them coming together, but we know it ain't going. You're gonna start coming together over here and try to make somebody that you're gonna take that spirit from here back to where we gotta go to, our homeland. That's why he says it's a remnant. The remnant,
Yes,
we
sir.
looking at it with eyes wide open. They not. They
Mm.
just a part of prophecy. But we sitting here
Mm.
with our eyes wide open, with the spirit of the Most High on us, and with
Yes, sir.
understanding. And that's what I mean about coming in contact with this line. You're not gonna come in contact with this line and with the understanding of the Most High for no accident, because it's what he's putting together something the same way he did in Egypt. When the whole time when he was dealing with Moses, the rest of the Israelites they still was caught up in the affliction and all that. They had no idea what he was doing with Moses until Moses showed up. And so they thinking they was gonna, just like the Negroes doing now, Farrakhan and all them talking about getting some 10 states over here and come together. They thinking that what they're gonna do is come together in Egypt. But the whole time, the Most High, he got people he dealing with that he's gonna bring them out of there. And go back to the way where they came from. I mean, like we told Abraham. He already told Abraham they're gonna come back here to the land of Canaan, and they're gonna possess this land. So it's no different than now. These people thinking one thing, but they ain't in charge, and they're not in life. Right.
Yes, sir. They're thinking this is their homeland here. You know,
Right. Well, we
that's
got
what
the
a lot
edge
of
yet. Yeah. This way you being blessed at, because you looking you sitting on top of the mountain.
All
Looking
praises.
down.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right. And that's how you when you dealing with people, you don't, I mean, a lot of times you don't even have to say nothing. You just know that, oh yeah, I see that spirit on them, but you know that it's not gonna be here. You know what I mean? He's bringing back that spirit of, like we was talking about this morning, the way that David smoothed everything out. David could have been a nut bucket and didn't want his son to, didn't want nobody to come behind him and take over his throne. But he allowed and did Bathsheba the same way. So that's the spirit of Israelite. So you don't really pretty much necessarily have to engage with them. You already know what's going to happen. Okay. All you looking at was, you see the Most High, what the Lord of hosts is doing, and what He's already prophesied. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? I said I was going to read out of 1 Kings chapter 2. I'm gonna read some of that. I don't want to say something and then don't do it. Okay. I'm in 1 Kings chapter 2. We read this morning how, like I said, how the transfer from David's reign to Solomon's reign. Now I'm gonna read chapter 2. Okay, 1 Kings. It's okay. It says David charged to Solomon. Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die, and he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. Keep the charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, his statutes, and his commandments. Here you go right here again, and his judgments. That's what we lacking. That's why we're in the predicament we're in right now. These judgments, and his judgments, and his testimony, as it is written in the laws of Moses, that thou mayest prosper. See that? You can't prosper without the judgments. Okay? That thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whethersoever thou turnest thyself, that the Lord may continue his word which he has spoken concerning me, saying, see that? Check it out. David talking to Solomon. He know he's gonna die. He says that the Lord, Michael, may continue his word which he has spoken concerning me. See that? That's big. He's talking to Solomon. He's telling Solomon what to do because it's concerning him. See that? Saying, if thy children take heed to their way and to walk before me in truth with all their heart and with all their soul, there shall not fail thee, saith he, a man on the throne of David. So out of David's lineage. So let's look at that right quick. You know, like I said, just thinking like a Hebrew. So what he told him, David, was, if they do right, it's always going to be a man out of David's lineage on the throne of David. We know they didn't do right. At the end, it got to the point where Gabriel came and told Daniel, the Most High, the Lord of hosts indignation, that came to a fool, because you Negroes ain't doing what I told you to do. So we brought the nation of Israel to an end, right? So how has he got a son of David on the throne based on what he just said? He said if they do right, it's going to be a son of David always on the throne. We know that they was cast off. So what happened? Like I showed you in Matthew, they put JC on there. Let that frame make. Verse 5. Moreover, thou knowest also what Jacob the son of Zerah did to me, and what he did to the two captains of the host of Israel, unto Ab, the son of Ner, and unto Amisha, the son of Jether, whom he slew, and shed the blood of war in peace, and put the blood of war upon his girdle that was about his loins, and in his shoes they were on his feet. Okay. So I don't know if you know that story, but Joel killed Amasha, right? He killed him, and then, like I said, he told us. We went over this, but I think a lot of it went over people's head. Go back to the blood. How they brought JC in the play. They said JC blood, the blood that was running in JC veins, cleansed the whole earth, right? But the Most High tells us that life, when he breathed, when he had Adam on the ground, he had formed him, but there wasn't no blood in him. And he breathed the breath of life into Adam, into Adam, right? So what did he do? He put the melanin that's in the blood. So right here, he says that verse 5, chapter 1 Kings, chapter 2. Moreover, thou knowest also what Joab, see that? Joab was the Lord of hosts of Israel under David. Joab, the son of Zerah, did to me, and David talking. And when he did what he did to the two captains of hosts of Israel, unto Abner, the son of Ner, and unto Amasa, these two brothers, son of Jeddah, check it out what he did, whom he slew. Check it out. Shed the blood. The life is in the blood. He shed the blood of war in peace. Put the blood of war upon his girdle. That's around his waist, right? Girdle around his waist. That was about his loins, right? And in his shoes that were on his feet. See, we ain't looking at it like that, but that's abominable. You killed him, you got the blood on his girdle, and not only that, you got blood out on his shoes. And the Negro ain't even get it off. And the Lord host got a problem with that. So anyway, do therefore, look at this. Do therefore, David telling me, do therefore according to thy wisdom, and let not his hoar hair go down to the grave in peace, but show kindness unto the sons. This judgment, this is what I was telling you about, this judgment. He got to do this. David telling them, according to me, it's my throne, the throne is mine. In order for my throne to keep going, this is what you got to do. You got to correct all this, the judgments. He says, do therefore according to thy wisdom, and let not his hoar hair go down to the grave in peace, but show kindness unto the sons of Barzillai and the Gideonite. So who is this guy? This is the guy that helped David cross the Jordan. He came and escorted David across the Jordan to keep Absalom from killing him. So David telling him, you got to go and show this man recompense. You got to go in on my behalf. He said, Barzillai the Gilead, and let them be of those that eat of thy table. For so they came to me, look at this, when I fled because of Absalom. See that? Thy brother. And behold, thou hast with thee Shema, the son of Gear, and the Benjamite of Berum, which cursed me. This is the guy, when David was crossing the Jordan, he was up on the cliff, on the mountainside, throwing rocks down at David. Throwing rocks at David, trying to hit him with the rocks, right? And David telling him right here, he says, and behold, thou with and thou hast with thee Shema, the son of Gear, and the Benjamite of Berum, which cursed me with a grievous curse in the day when I went to Mahanaim, but he came down to meet me at Jordan, and he swore to, and I swore to him by the Lord, saying, I will not put thee to death or with the sword. So that's tact. lot of people don't understand it. It's tact, right? He wants Solomon to survive. He wants Solomon kingdom to flourish, not to go dealing with bullshit. He want Solomon kingdom to flourish. So he's saying, don't worry about what the Negro did. He throw rocks at me. Oh, I told him I was gonna show kindness to him. That's what I want you to do. Use attack, right? Now, 9. Therefore, hold him not guiltless. For thou art a wise man. See that? Everybody ain't wise men. And knoweth what thou ought to do unto him, but his whore hairs bring thou down to the grave with blood. So David slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David. And the days that David reigned over Israel were 40 years. 7 years reigned he in Hebron, 30 years, and 3 years reigned he in Jerusalem. Then said, okay, I want you to look at that. Go back, and it's a controversy that who the Messiah is, right? And I told you they plagiarized JC off of David the Messiah. So look right here. The days that David reigned over Israel were 40 years. 7 years. 7 years reigned he in Hebron. 33 years he reigned in Hebron. How old was JC? 33 years old. Okay, here you go. Now, 12. These set Solomon upon the throne of David, his father, and his kingdom was established greatly. And Abishai, the son of Hijai, came to Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon. Okay, and she said, "Cometh thou peaceably?" And he said, "Peaceably." And she said, "Moreover, I have somewhat to say unto thee." And she said, "Say on." And he said, "Thou knowest." So check this out. This demonic activity. I'm going to show it to you. And he said, "Thou knowest that the kingdom was mine and never was yours." Because he told David, he'd been told David that Solomon was going to follow him. So it never was his kingdom. In his mind, he thought it was his kingdom. It says, and he said, "Thou knowest that the kingdom was mine, and that all Israel set their faces on me, that I should reign. Howbeit the kingdom is turned about, and it has become my brother's, for it was his from the Lord." And then 16, and now I ask one petition. Here you go. It's demonic activity. You got to know how to get around this. It says, and I know, I now ask one petition of thee. He going to Bathsheba. Deny me not. And she said unto him, "Say on." And he said, "Speak, I pray thee, unto Solomon the king, for he will not say thee nay. He will not say unto thee nay, that he give me Abishai, the Shulamite, to wife." Anybody know where Abishai is?
No, sir.
That was the
Shalom.
nursemaid to King David, the Shulamite girl.
Right. In this morning. She the one, she was a virgin, and she the one that was, they got to keep David warm. He was old, he wasn't getting no heat in his body. So they brought her in to specifically to keep David warm, to keep David alive. And now this nut bucket then came after he tried to usurp the stone. Now he come through the woman. He come through Bathsheba. For he not gonna go ask him. So he goes just like the serpent did in the garden. Then he goes through Bathsheba and tell her to ask Solomon to give him Abishai. Come on. And it's wicked as hell. Okay? And so let's look at it. Right? So he says, and he said, "Thou knowest that the kingdom was mine, and that all Israel set their faces on me." See that? That's already showing you right there. He got a problem right here. That I should reign. Howbeit that the kingdom is turned about, and it is because of my brother, for it was his from the Lord. And now I ask one petition of thee, deny me not. And she said unto him, say on. So he assumed that Solomon is a mama's boy. She gonna dictate what Solomon do, right? So it says that, and now I ask one petition of thee, deny me not. And she said unto him, say on. And he said, speak. I pray thee unto Solomon the king, for he will not say nay, that mama's boy. He ain't gonna say nay to you, that he give me Abishai, the Shulamite, to wife. So that's just like the serpent coming in the garden, and the Most High created, he formed Adam, breathed the breath of life in Adam, then he took a rib out of Adam, and then made Eve, and the serpent come in the garden and say, can I have Eve? Hell no, you can't have Eve. Same thing right here. So 16, and now I ask one petition of thee, deny me not. And she said unto him, say on. And he said, speak, I pray thee unto Solomon thy king, for he will not say nay, that he give me Abishai the Shulamite. And the Bathsheba said, well, I will speak for thee. See that? Look at this. I will speak for thee unto the king. Bathsheba therefore went unto King Solomon, spake unto him for Abishai, from a mother's perspective. And the king rose up to meet her and bowed himself unto her, and he sat down on his throne, and he caused a seat to be set for the king's mother, and she sat on his throne on his right hand. Then she said, I desire one small petition of thee. It ain't small. And I pray thee, say to me nay. And the king said unto her, ask on, my mother, for I will not say nay. And she said, let Abishai, the Shulamite, be given to Adoniah, my brother, the wife. Now watch this. See that? 20. Remember, he gave Solomon all the wisdom. No other man was wise like Solomon. 22. And King Solomon answered and said unto his mother, and why doest thou ask Abishai the Shulamite for Adoniah? Ask for him the kingdom also. See, that's what he's shooting at. Ask for the kingdom also. If you want me to give him Abishai, then just ask me to give him the kingdom. Come on. Okay? So he says, let me get it. And she said, let Abishai the Shulamite be given to Adoniah, thy brother, to wife. And King Solomon answered and said unto his mother, and why doest thou ask Abishai, or ask for him the kingdom also? For he is mine elder brother, even for him and Abinatar the priest, and Joab the son of Zeruiah. Then the King Solomon swore by the Lord, saying, God do so to me, and more so, if Abishai have not spoken these words against his own life. Now therefore, as the Lord liveth, he went down a whole nother road. Judgment. Now therefore, as the Lord liveth, which have established me, set me on the throne of David my father, who have made me a house as he promised, Abishai shall be put to death. See this judgment right here. Put to death this day. And King Solomon sent by the hand of Benaiah, the son of Jediah, and he fell upon him, and he died. And unto Abiathar, the priest, said the king, get thee to Antioch unto thine own fields, for thou art worthy of death. But I will not at this time put thee to death, because thou bearest the ark of the Lord God. Behold, David my father, and because thou hast been afflicted in our way, and my father was afflicted. So Solomon thrust out, this the high priest, Abiathar, he whipped Abishai. And Solomon thrust out Abiathar from being priest unto the Lord, that he might fulfill the words of the Lord which he spake concerning the house of Eli in Shiloh. Then the tidings came to Joab, for Joab had turned turned after Adoniah, though he turned not after Absalom. And Joab fled unto the tabernacle of the Lord and caught hold of the horns of the altar. So Solomon got to kill all these Negroes in order for his David throne to thrive. Because all these Negroes was adversaries. So like I said, we in the predicament we in now because we ain't doing this. The Most High judgments, we not performing his judgments. The first thing Solomon did when he got on the throne, he had to perform the Most High judgments to set everything in order. So here you go. It says, and he was told, King Solomon, that Joab fled until the tabernacle of the Lord, and behold, he is by the altar. Then Solomon sent Benaiah. Benaiah is a giant, strong man, right? And the son of Janaiah saying, go, fall upon him. And Benaiah came to the tabernacle of the Lord, this is the Lord's house, and said unto him, thus saith the king, come forth. And he said, nay, but I will die here. And Benaiah brought the king's word again, saying, thus says Joab, and thus he answered me. And the king said unto him, do as he has said, fall upon him and bury him, that thou mayest take away the innocent blood, which, see that? The innocent blood which Joab shed from me and from the house of my father. See that? So when he killed those two men, those two officers, he had no regard for them. Took the knife, took the sword when he killed him with, and wiped the blood on his girdle. And then blood fell all on his shoes. He had no respect. So David told him what he had to do. So in order for David and us to know who David is today, Solomon had to do this. Right? So look at it. I want you to check it out. So Benaiah, understanding how everything goes, he ran in the temple, thinking that Solomon wasn't going to go in the temple and get him, right? He told him, Benaiah told him to come out of there. Benaiah ain't nothing nice. I'm going to show that in a minute. So he know he can't deal with Benaiah, right? So he ran in the temple by the altar and grabbed hold to the altar, thinking that he can't shed blood at the altar. But Solomon told him, right here, look at it, let me read it. 30. Benaiah came to the tabernacle of the Lord, see that? The temple, right? And said to the tabernacle of the wilderness, right? To the tabernacle of the Lord, and said unto him, thus says the king, thus says Solomon, come forth. You don't want to kill him in there, right? Come forth. And he said, nay, but I will die here, figuring they ain't gonna kill him in the temple, right? And Benaiah brought the king word again. He went back to the king, saying, thus said Joab, and thus he answered me. 31. And the king said unto him, do as he has said. See, that's how you gotta do Negroes, right here. Right? Do as he said, right? And fall upon him and bury him, that thou mayest take away the innocent blood which Joab shed from me and from the house of my father. See that? And the Lord shall return his blood upon his own head, who fell upon two men more righteous and better than he, and slew them with the sword. And my father David, not knowing thereof, to wit, Abner the son of Ner, captain of the host of Israel, and Amashai the son of Jeddah, captain of the host of Judah. These two captains of the host, Israel and Judah. Their blood shall therefore return upon the head of Joab and upon the head of his seed forever. But upon David and upon his throne shall there be peace forever from the Lord. So Benaiah the son of Jeddah went up, fell upon him, slew him, and he was buried in his own house in the wilderness. And the king Benaiah son of Jediah in his room over the host. So this man, as he killed Joab, he became the Lord of hosts of Israel. And Zodak, the priest, did the king put in the room of Abiathar, right? So here go, I want to show you this here because I'm going to go back and show you how we understanding these stories. You can write and divide scripture. Nobody can brainwash you, right, or hoodwink you. So 36, the king sent, called for Shema. Remember this name, Shema, and said unto him, build thee a house. So this is the guy that threw the rocks at David and cursed him when he was running from Absalom and crossed the Jordan. So king, he using tact now. He using tact, Solomon. And the king sent and called Shemiah and said unto him, build your house in Jerusalem. Check it out. Build your house in Jerusalem. Dwell there. David told him to kill him. He says, dwell there and go not forth thence anywhere. You can't go nowhere. You're gonna live the rest of your days. If you want to live, you're gonna live the rest of your days in Jerusalem. So he told him to build him a house in Jerusalem, and that's where you're gonna stay. 38. And Shema said unto the king, the saying is good, and my lord king have said, and so will I thy servant do. And Shema dwelt in Jerusalem many days. And it came to pass at the end of 3 years that 2 of the servants of Shema ran away under Anchorish, son of Micaiah, king of Gath. And they told Shema, saying, behold, thy servant is being Gath. And Shema arose and saddled his ass and went to Gath, to Anchorish, to seek his servants. And Shema went and brought his servants from Gath, right? Check it out. And it was told Solomon. Yeah, you think it's a game. It was told Solomon that Shema had gone forth from Jerusalem to Gath and was come again. And the king sent and called for Shema and said unto him, did I not make thee to swear by the Lord and protested unto thee, saying, know for certain on the day that thou goest out and walkest abroad any whither that thou wouldest surely die, and thou said unto me, the words that I have heard is good. Why then hast thou not kept the oath of the Lord and the commandments that I have charged thee with? And says, and the king said moreover to Shema, thou knowest all the wickedness which thy heart is privy to, and thou didst to David my father. Therefore the Lord shall return thy wickedness upon thine own head, and the king Solomon shall be blessed. You see that? You get rid of this Negro, he's gonna be blessed. And King Solomon shall be blessed, and the throne of David shall be established because the Lord, before the Lord forever. So the king commanded Benaiah, the son of Jedediah, which went out and fell upon him, that he died. And the kingdom was established in the hands of Solomon. So you got to go back and look at the things you're trying to do, okay? And how you letting nut buckets stop you from doing what you need to do, okay? You ain't necessarily got to kill them, but you allowing them to stop. You allowing the bullshit they do to stop you from doing what you need to do. So it says right here, I'll read 46 again. So king commanded Benaiah, the son of Jedediah, which went out, fell upon him, that he died. And when after that happened, then the kingdom was established in the hands of Solomon, right? So now let me go back and show you who Benaiah is. All these people, the reason why he getting Benaiah to do this, right? Let's look at it. In the second Samuel, let's look at it. Look at okay, Second Samuel, maybe 23. Okay, yeah, 23. Here you go. 23, verse 8. These David mighty men, right here, these giants. David had 33 giants around him. Like I said, just like they trying to kill my man Torre, right? It ain't nothing new. They were trying to kill David everywhere he went. David had these 33 giants around him. But let me show them to you. 8. These be the names of the mighty men, giants, whom David had. The Tishmanite that sat in the seat, chief among the captains. The same was a Denio, the Ezrahite. I'm butchering these names. He lifted up his spear against 800 men, whom he slew at one time. He killed 800 people at one time, right? This is why Joel ran his ass in the temple. He can't do nothing with these men. So anyway, and after him was Eleazar, the son of Dido of Emma, one of the three mighty men with David, when they defiled the Philistines that they defiled the Philistines that were there gathered together to the battle, and the men of Israel were gone away. And he arose and smote the Philistines until his hand was weary, and his hand cleaved unto his sword. And the Lord wrought a great victory that day, and the people returned after him only to the spoils, right? And after him was Shema, right, the son of Agag, the Harite, and the Philistines were gathered together into a troop, where was a piece of ground full of lentil, and the people fled from the Philistines. But he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it and slew the Philistines, and the Lord wrought a great victory. And the 3 and 30 chiefs went down and came to David in the harvest time unto the cave of Adullam, and the troops of the Philistines pitched in the valley of Rephaim. And David was then in a hole, and the garrison of the Philistines was then in Bethlehem. And David longed and said, "Oh, that one would give me a drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate." And the 3 mighty men break through the host of the Philistines and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it and brought it to David. Nevertheless, he would not drink thereof, but poured it out upon the Lord. And he said, "Be it far from me, O Lord, that I should do this. Is it not this, the blood of the men that went in jeopardy of their lives?" Therefore he would not drink it. These things did these 3 men do. And Abishai, the brother of Joab, here goes Joab, you're a mighty man, the son of Zerah, was chief among the 3. And he lifted up his spear against 300 and slew them. And it says, and slew them and had a name among 3. So he was the most dangerous out of 3. Was he not most honorable of the 3? Therefore he was their captain. Howbeit he attained not unto the first of the 3. Now here go Benaiah right here, 20. And Benaiah, the son of Jediah, the son of a valiant man of Keziel, who had done many acts. Check it out. He had done many acts, and he slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. And he went down also and slew the lion. He slew a lion in the midst of a pit in the time of the snow. And he slew an Egyptian, a goodly man. But the Egyptian had a spear in his hand. But he went down to him with a staff and plucked the spear out of his Egyptian's hand. So I told you the Egyptians are giants. Out of his hand, and slew him. Right? Slew him with his own spear. These things did Benaiah, son of Jediah, had that the name among the 3 mighty men. He was more honorable than the 30, but he obtained not to the first 3, and David set him over the guard. So this is who David set him over the guard. So when Solomon came on the throne, that Solomon picked right up with David off and used him. So he had Benaiah kill Shema. He had Benaiah kill Joab. See what I'm saying? So now I want to show you one more thing. I'll go to Zechariah right quick. Chapter 14. This guy Shema I just told you about. Okay, so we see that after he killed Shema, David's kingdom was established because he had disrespected David, throwing stones at him when he crossed the Jordan. So let's look at it. Zechariah. Let me get it. Zechariah chapter 14. Right? Like I say, when you understand these things, it kills JC, right? Oh, so let me look at it. It's chapter 12. I'm gonna start at verse 11. Zechariah 12. In that day, this ain't happened yet, shall there be a great mourning in Jerusalem, right? As the mourning of had them in the valley of Megiddo. So when you understand what that is, Josiah was killed in the valley. Josiah was one of the righteous kings, like David, that the Most High raised up. And he reformed Israel, took everybody back to the laws of Moses, but then he went and got killed. And when he died at Megiddo, all Israel mourned for him for 70 days. So he says that in the last days, that's gonna happen again, but it's gonna be David. When he resurrect David and resurrect our forefathers, they're gonna mourn like that, but it's gonna be greater. So check out verse 12. And the land shall mourn, right? Every family apart. The family of the house of David apart. So David supposed to be David right here in Zechariah. So this is what he's talking about. He's gonna resurrect David. When he resurrect David and resurrect them, it's gonna be a mourning, right? And the land shall mourn, every family apart, from the family of the house of David apart, and the wives apart. The family of the house of Nathan. Nathan was a prophet of David, right? And their wives apart. And the family of the house of Levi apart, and their wives apart. Now here you go, the family of Shema. See that? We just saw Solomon killed it. But right here, the family of Shema apart, and their wives apart. All the families that remain, every family apart, and their wives apart. So when you resurrect all our forefathers, and then you resurrect David, they know who David is. It's gonna be a great mourning. So like I said before, how does this have anything? How is this gonna play out when they tell you JC gonna come back? It's either one or the other. Somebody lying. Okay. Any questions or comments? Okay. Let me hit this right quick. Young maiden. Okay, I'm lost. Oh, okay, yeah. All right. So you talking about Abishai? Okay. So on, brother. Okay. Yeah. So like I said, you wanted to come in through the link, all you have to do is call 337-802-0889, and then you can get the link and then come in and we can do a little more engaging. Okay. Or you continue to do what you're doing. Okay. So anybody have any questions or comments before we go?
Brother Leonard, was it like Solomon had put Shimei under house arrest as you were reading verse 36? Was that mainly what it was like? Because he's telling him, go not forth thence anywhere, right? So, right. Okay. I was just thinking about that.
So if you go back earlier, so see David told him to kill him. But Solomon gave him a break and told him, you can go and build you a house in Jerusalem and stay there, and you can live your life out like that. But if you leave, I'm gonna put Benaiah on you.
And he left.
And he left. And like I said, understanding who Solomon is, he knew he was gonna leave. So you say, what you talk about? Remember the two women, the one her baby had died, and she took the other woman baby. Yeah. And so then they was standing before Solomon, and the one woman said, "That's my baby," knowing that her baby had died. And then the real mother said, "No, rather than kill the baby," she said she can have him, right? And then Solomon discerned and said, "That's her baby," because she don't want the baby. The other woman said, "Cut him in half."
Right.
See what I'm saying? So then Solomon said, "Oh, this the other woman baby. Give this woman her baby." See what I'm saying? Tack. Right. Okay. Anybody else got any comments or questions on anything? Like I said before, we trying to build up Sunday, so get into the books you got and come up with some questions so we can have a big Bible shindig tomorrow, okay? So with that being said, I'm gonna say shalom to everybody. I'll see y'all tomorrow at 5 o'clock for the Sunday Bible study. Okay? Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.